Hey traders, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. So we know we're still tied to the broader market, which is dictating things in the short term, but there's some very clear, bigger picture weekly levels that we're going to be keeping an eye on as well, because when they break, we know volume and volatility are coming sometime within the next few weeks. I forgot to mention, I recorded a video over the weekend about psychology as a trader and the path that I went down and different books and resources that I utilized to help prepare me to be a trader later in life. So check that out on our YouTube channel, Psychology of a Trader. So the broader market with a big red day today, we can see QQQ is headed back towards our fear lows. 318 is the next support, and the S&P 500 doing the same. We know the bulls have not proven much to us over the past couple of weeks, aside from short-lived bounces that lacked follow-through in the downward pressure, definitely impacting Bitcoin. Amazon's down 5% today, S&P 500 over 2%. Those are some significant numbers, so a lot of downward pressure is the bottom line. There's also some headline downward pressure. Biden to sign crypto order as industry faces sanctions pressure. So that is just another little dose of fear, and just keeping an eye on the broader market environment and headlines, because we know that headlines often follow price in the sense that price goes up, there's euphoria, there's positive headlines, and obviously the opposite when we are bearish and weak. So Bitcoin at this point in time is struggling to get any kind of daily bounce going. We had a little 12-hour bear flag over the weekend, and we had a solid bounce this morning, but we gave it all back. And essentially we started the morning looking a lot stronger than the broader market, and now we are in line with the broader market as far as the amount of pullback that we've seen. So bigger picture, or I should say shorter term, the 4-hour trend is my guide. Since we topped out at 45,000 with that weekly resistance rejection, all we've been doing is setting a 4-hour lower high every single bounce. And we know if we do not change the 4-hour trend, the bulls aren't going to prove anything to us. So on this most recent move, we broke a little resistance level. We rejected from a second resistance level. But again, breaking the resistances is nice. It creates space for a trend change attempt. But if you're not setting a higher low and higher high, you're not changing the trend. So a resistance rejection and new fresh lows here. And the other thing is RSI levels are not that beat up. We're not oversold on the daily, nor the 4-hour, nor the hourly. That always reminds us we can always see another leg down. And there's a lot of space now for an hourly lower high to be the result of a next bounce. And bears are going to be waiting for that. Bears are going to continue shorting lower highs as long as it keeps working. And it keeps working in the broader market, and it's going to keep working in crypto until it doesn't. But again, that's why as traders we put stop losses, because keep doing it until it stops working is essentially the MO when you're in a trend. So we are in a clear many-day downtrend. But bigger picture, it's all about the weekly time frame, because we have a clear tightening range. If the bulls can hold 34.3 thousand, we remain within a weekly equilibrium. That's the goal for the bulls this week. Hold 34.3 thousand, change the 4-hour trend to the bulls, get a daily bounce going. And of course, if we're going to see that level hold, we want to see the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ hold their recent fear lows as well. Anytime the broader market hits a new fresh fear low, it's very noteworthy. There's no little safety net. If you've got a support level, you've got something to work with. You can try and shape up a daily trend change. But once that's gone, it is back to big time fear. So the burden is on the bulls to shift this momentum in both markets. And as of now, they are not showing us anything that tells us that that momentum is shifting. Essentially, the bears are confident, and the bears are going to remain confident until they get punched in the mouth and surprised and stopped out. But if we can't change the 4-hour trend, not many bears are going to be stopped out. The dominance chart is we're still watching this pattern of a higher low every single week, a stair-step pattern. And the week just started, but it's currently an inside bar. Anything under 47.7 is just a lower high. Keeping an eye on this pattern and scouting that lower high. And the scenario where if this were to break bear and start weekly consolidation, that either means that crypto is dropping and Bitcoin's dropping faster than the altcoins, or crypto's going up and the altcoins are going up faster than Bitcoin. Those are the only two scenarios that this weekly chart is going to pull back. And right now, we would essentially need to see, if it's going to be a bullish scenario, we would have to see the entire crypto space change 4-hour trends and the altcoin bulls just see more follow through into that daily bounce. Ethereum, so still weak here as well, lower high every day the last 5 days, and the only support is the recent low at 2,300. That's our weekly low, And again, if we just keep setting weekly lower highs, bears remain confident, bigger picture. So 2300 and 2159 are our supports. And next time we bounce on the daily, bears are waiting because there's a lot of space for a daily lower high to be the result of the next bounce. 4 hour, just a downtrend. Again, significant bounce, but dropping to the lower low. Bears keeping their control with a lot of space for an hourly lower high to be the result of the next bounce from here. And again, I'm just watching right now out of the corner of my eye, just QQQ. It has not changed the 5-minute trend to the bulls at any point today. And that downward pressure is just being magnified in the crypto space. ETH BTC, daily lower high set. We're close to following through with another weekly downtrend, or I should say continuation of the weekly downtrend. We need to see a daily trend change here to hold this weekly support. The burden is on the bulls. If this weekly support is going to hold, the daily trend change is needed to defend that level. Otherwise, we get a bear cross of the EMAs, and the monthly uptrend is then at risk. We've been pulling back now for 4 months. Inside bar bear break with February's candle. Bulls have proving to do. Mana. So mana is still weak as well. Weekly never got a higher low set. So we can see the low of 170, the high of the bounce up to 355, and now just consolidating for 4 weeks in a row. We've got support at 220 and then 170. 4 hour downtrend is our guide. Big bounce, just a lower high. Lots of space for an hourly lower high. So again, determine what time frame is most important for you. If you are bearish and aggressive, you're scouting an hourly lower high. If you're bearish and more patient, you care about the 4 hour. Most patient cares about the daily. Only the most aggressive bulls are looking for entries here. And even then, it's just in the face of complete bear momentum. So have to have some kind of game plan if you're looking for that. Really, it would be a 2-day higher low. The only bulls that are looking for positions are scouting 2-day higher lows. So there's Bitcoin's low, the high of the bounce, and now a 2-day higher low attempt. And a lot of these other names have that as well. This is the Ethereum version, trying for a 2-day higher low. But again, there is absolutely no sign that it is shaping up right now, which is keeping bears confident. Still interested in Mana BTC because of this falling wedge. As long as this falling wedge remains nice and clear, this is my guide. And again, as I've been saying over the past week, if this breaks bear, Mana is off my list as one of the lead bulls that I look to trade. I'm not trading a whole lot in this current market environment. Number one, because the bears are in complete control. But number two, we're in a tightening weekly range. I want to be trading more actively and aggressively when tight ranges break, not when they tighten up. Because I know that if I'm going to see solid gains as a trader, I need a solid amount of volatility. If there's a 10% move, I can get 6% of that move, and it's very worthwhile. But if we are range bound, and there's only 2% space of range, I don't have enough pie to get my piece. So while the weekly is consolidating, my trading is significantly decreasing. And then when it breaks, my trading will become more active. But for this falling wedge on Mana BTC, it's just a 12-hour downtrend still. Lower high, higher low, but lower high again. And we should see a break within the next, I would say, 3 or 4 days of this pattern. And the burden is on the bulls to prove something to us. Luna. So Luna USDT daily time frame was trying to be a daily bull flag and failed. We're still looking for a daily higher low, anything above 70.44. But the size of this pullback is creating a lot of space for a daily lower high. If you look at retracements from where we came from, it's still a potential bull flag. But again, if I'm looking at percentage move, I don't like it as a bull flag. Well, now here we are breaking 382 retracement. But essentially, we can go 20% from here and still easily be looking for a daily lower high. So an aggressive bear is patiently waiting for a daily lower high on Luna to be grabbing a short. Luna BTC is stronger than Luna USD. There's no red flags here. We're scouting a daily higher low. It's a potential 4-hour falling wedge. Some TheChartGuys members have been on this one. And obviously, if this breaks bull, it keeps Luna in the forefront. This isn't a great drawing here, but you get the idea. This has to break bull if Luna is going to stay a lead bull on the daily time frame. But again, the weakness that we're seeing today in the broader market is completely derailing a solid crypto bounce attempt from earlier this morning. And now Luna, fresh lower low, hourly almost oversold. Keeping an eye out for first 4-hour oversold conditions on Luna. That has not happened yet. And technically it's a back burner considering it's coming from all-time highs. We know it's not the ideal back burner where the market is strong and Bitcoin's doing the same thing, but it is worth keeping an eye on. Aggressive bulls are watching for a Luna 4-hour oversold bounce the next time we see it, especially if we're still scouting a daily higher low. And one more check-in, Sol BTC. Again, I've been keeping an eye on this, and I have been saying if Sol BTC breaks this level, I'm interested as a bull. If it doesn't, not interested at all. And so this weakness is keeping me not interested at all. I don't even check the US dollar pairing because I know that if this chart is not breaking bull, then it's just weaker than Bitcoin, and I know Bitcoin's weak, so it's the weaker of the weak. So just a quick little check-in here because there's not a whole lot to say other than bears have complete control. We have clear weekly tightening ranges with some support levels coming into play. The broader market is likely going to dictate things from here. It's not fun when that's the case, but that's where we stand. And when there's high fear in the broader market, that's when the correlations sync up. And so if we break to fresh lower lows in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, we are likely going to see Bitcoin headed down to the low 30,000s to test its supports. If the broader market bulls hold the recent low and shift momentum, we will likely see the cryptocurrency space bounce. So that is where we stand. We'll have to see the reaction that we have with this Biden crypto order. That could lead to a bit of a breaking correlation with the broader market, but broader market is king in this current market environment. And honestly, that's the first thing to check in on every morning. What is the broader market doing and how is Bitcoin relating to it? So I appreciate you watching. Do good things. Have a good rest of your week. I'll see you soon before the week's over. Hope you had a good weekend. So in today's trading and gardening analogy, we're going to be talking about patience and paying off time with dividends. So every single plant here started back in October as an individual clove of garlic. And in a few months from now, 9 months after planting them, they will each give me a head of garlic with an exponential gain. So when we're starting out trading, we know it's even a lot longer scope than that. And when I was first starting out, I had a mindset that was too short-sighted. You know, when I'm in year 2 of trading, I was thinking, all right, I'm looking to benefit myself with this time that I'm putting in year 2. In year 2, I'm trying to see these gains in year 2 from what I'm doing here. And I didn't have the mindset of this is going to set the stage for 7 years from now. So when 2017 crypto exploded to the upside and I was in flow state trading it for a long time, that was my 7th year of trading. And I really started to get the feeling every single hour of work that I had put in over the last 7 years was all leading up into that one moment. And nothing else before it mattered. And this is what the stage was set for. And it even happened with me passing up certain opportunities. I watched the 3D printing sector explode to the upside and I made very little money from it. It was a missed opportunity. But I learned and I said, okay, exponential gains, FOMO, euphoria, new technology, and I made note of that, and that definitely played a part in capitalizing on the opportunity when I saw it again with cryptocurrency.